Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Ritt. I'm an artist and a tarot reader, and today's reading feels very involved. It's interesting. I pulled one, which led to, a bunch more. Then I had four, which is a good amount for me. And then I decided, well, maybe one more, and then five more fell out. So, yeah, the overall messages that I'm getting are that we've done some really good work for ourselves. We've progressed, and that's going to be different for each and every one of you on a personal level, but we've been doing a lot of really good work for ourselves. But we're kind of in the middle of something else right now that feels vulnerable. And so the key to moving forward and feeling more empowered within ourselves again, it kind of feels like a little bit of that got lost. But the key to getting it back is just to be really good to ourselves. I'm seeing strength reversed here with King of Wands reversed here. Now these are both fiery energies, right? Wands are fire, and strength connects to Leo, which is fire. And strength is, you see a warrior here, which is kind of unusual. It's specific to this particular deck, the Aquarian deck. Often strength is depicted as a woman in white taming a lion, and not with force. There's really a sense of compassion, integrity, centeredness. It's a very different kind of strength than what we're used to. Maybe more in this day and age, we are used to thinking of it as strength of character, compassion, maybe now more than ever before, we're used to that. Strength is also about taking care to be good to ourselves, as opposed to any kind of brute force. I feel like that's maybe the older definition. I think of like the strong men in the circus. This is opposite of that. Although Chris at Minnow Pond Tarot does kind of point out that taming a lion that way, there is still kind of that element of showing off, which is interesting because where I go is just that compassion above all else, integrity above all else, and the strength inherent within those things. We show our best selves. Our wisdom shines through. That's what that's about. So here it is again, reversed. And this guy, so much about confidence, personal power. That's also a fire thing anyway. And there's just a feeling of vulnerability between these two. There's really this need to take care and be good to ourselves. And in doing so, we get our power back. But, it's okay that we're here right now. It's just that message to really listen in and get back in tune with what we need and take care, from that place of love, from cultivating a more consistent self-love that kind of leaves everybody else out of the picture. And then going forward, what it feels like to me is that the vulnerability that we're experiencing here and now, we're going to want to share that going forward. And that's the way I'm reading this Queen of Swords on her head. Swords are air, so they speak to our power of articulation, our mind. And this queen speaks her truth unapologetically. And again, the way it feels to me, reversed here and now, it feels as if, and this feels like a future position, so going forward, even as we're just really needing to show ourselves love here and now, and we're feeling the vulnerability of that, we're going to have things to say going forward that speak to what we're experiencing now. You know, it may be that we allow ourselves to share from the depths of who we are, having gone through these experiences. We allow ourselves to share with new clarity and new strength going forward. It feels like we're cultivating something now that we're going to need more of as we speak our thoughts aloud, you know? But we don't have to do that just yet. Right now, it's about finding clarity within ourselves and really, again, listening into what we need on deeper levels. And yeah, so then these 5 other cards that fell out. I feel as if they're speaking to the losses that we felt, the injustices that we felt. Justice on its head, to me here, literally translates as injustice. And it's across from 5 of Cups. Cups are water. This card speaks to loss. It speaks to shedding things and grief, you know, mourning. And here it's reversed. So there is that feeling of, the way this reads to me, because these 5 cards formed their own kind of a V shape, the way this reads to me is that we've experienced the injustices of life. We've experienced that deep loss and that deep sadness, you know, that comes with whatever things that just, whatever we've been through here that's caused us deep sadness. You know, we're still shedding that. We're still processing our grief, and still we're coming through it, you know? I mean, you have the Chariot right in the middle of this reading. Chariot speaks to, as Abraham Hicks would say, it speaks to our alignment. It speaks to me, it speaks to the way we're handling our grief and our sadness. We're doing it in a very solid way that allows us to move through it with greater ease than were we just in the thick of it without any perspective. This energy, to me, this gives us greater perspective. And I think it also speaks to that clarity that we're finding here, you know, even if we're not yet ready to speak it aloud or articulate it to other people, that's coming because we're handling it within ourselves in powerful ways. It's funny, even as we feel disempowered here, you know, or just vulnerable, you know, and not as strong as we would like to be, we're still finding our strength. And maybe that's also a good way to put this energy on its head. Strength here, we're finding our strength, you know? And sometimes we're on top of it. Sometimes, I mean, again, this feels like that more solid aspect to how we're taking charge of what we're going through. This is a take charge kind of an energy. But again, you know, we're still finding our balance. Here you have 2 of Pentacles reversed. Pentacles are earth. This card speaks so fundamentally to balance and balancing our everyday activities. That's the way this reads to me. Here it's reversed, and it's across from 3 of Cups, reversed as well. And again, to me, this energy on its head in relation to 5 of Cups on its head, you know? There are these 3 spilt cups, and then you have this energy of 3 of Cups, which is often so joyous and so celebratory. But the way it reads here, you know, the way these two speak to one another, it feels like loss, and the kind of loss that makes it hard to function and get ourselves in order. This feels like balancing everything and having a kind of an order, and here it's reversed as well. And yet, through all of that, we're still kind of carrying it in such a way that allows us to feel solid enough to continue. That's what's coming to me. This is a really interesting, it almost feels as if this particular reading it's speaking to the ambiguity of time, because we're in the middle of so much, right? And we're carrying so much. Emotionally, we're carrying so much. And yet, it's very both and, you know, because we're feeling vulnerable 1 minute, but also strong enough to carry it the next. So it's a very full moment in time for us. Maybe that's what it is. It's that we think of one moment as being just that, one moment, finite, limited, you know, the measurement of time and the limitations of that measurement of time in one moment. But what I'm seeing is that this moment for us, it holds so much. And what I'm getting is that there's this feeling of turning things around for ourselves. But we have to allow the vulnerability. We have to allow the sadness. We have to allow ourselves to move through it. And that's actually where our strength lies. That's actually where our solidity lies, in just owning our emotions, owning our pain as we come out of it, you know, and as we clarify for ourselves what it was even about, as we continue to move forward. You know, Chariot is also motion forward, literally. Interesting, though, that in this particular deck, with the Aquarian deck, there's a stillness in a lot of these cards, whereas, you know, in a Rider-Waite, you get more action, you get more movement. So maybe it's fitting that it's a slower motion forward, you know, and that I should choose this deck, that should translate in this particular reading as we gather our thoughts, as we kind of allow for a more gradual momentum forward, that we have this energy here as well, this version of this energy with the Aquarian deck. So, yeah, I hope that this reading has been helpful for those of you guys who just feel like you're right in the thick of your emotions, your maybe just wanting to hide away today, wanting to take it easy. It is where I am. It's rainy, it's quiet, there's room for introspection. I love that about a rainy day. But again, I really hope that these messages are helpful for those of you dealing with pain and dealing with sadness, and just to recognize that maybe you're doing a better job of that, and just allowing yourselves to feel it, you know, as you find ways to be good to yourselves. Just recognize that maybe you're more together in this than you know, and that it's going to get easier, and that you're going to have things to say about this, you know, that that the experiences that you share with the world as a direct result of what you're in the thick of right now, right here and now, that those will also be of value to everyone else going forward. You know, that you have the ability to connect with everyone else and share your experience in ways that are clarifying, that are insightful, that encourage others to really speak up about their experience. You know? So yeah, I hope that you all have a soothing day. I feel like that's what we need right now. I hope that you all have a soothing day, and that you have the time and the space to just allow yourselves to heal and move forward at your own pace, in your own ways. Yeah, I will see you again soon. Bye for now.